When it comes to screwing up as a trader, it happens for one of two reasons. Now, I'm not talking about regular trading losses, which happens to everyone. I'm talking about when you mess up. It's either because you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, or you do know what you're supposed to be doing, but you don't do it. So you get to the path that you know you're supposed to be following, but you diverge. And it's because you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, or you do know and you don't do it. Two things, two relatively small things, which hold back so many people. 70% of traders fail, but it only comes down to one of these two things. Once you have a trading plan, that's it. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing, you do know what you're supposed to be doing, but you don't do it. Two areas to address. Why do so many people continue to fail? Why do so many people not address those areas? Because they don't ever think about it. They don't ever look at it. They have the bad periods and they beat themselves up. Emotionally, mentally, they take themselves through the ringer. They really punish themselves. They call themselves a failure. They hate themselves for a period of time. They get very angry. They withdraw from their partners and they hide away in their room. We've all done it. But it simply comes down to addressing these two areas. You didn't know what to do, you did know what to do, and you didn't do it. Once you start to look at those areas, and once you start to properly address them, then you can start to make progress. You can start to move forward. It really is as simple as that. It's not easy, but it's very, very simple to know what to work on. If you didn't know what to do, what does that mean? It means you need to decide for next time. You need to build things into your trading plan, into your decision-making progress, so you know what to do. Because when you're under pressure, when you're having to make snap decisions, very often there are going to be mistakes. That's why in high-pressure industries, people are drilled over and over and over and over again. So when it comes down to making the decisions, it's automatic. They don't need to think about it. It might sound ridiculous. You get into a trade, you're watching candles go up and down and you're getting very stressed. You're starting to sweat. Your heart is starting to race. But that's what happens. So take the decisions out of the moment. Understand what you have to do. Write it down. Make it as simple as possible. If you find areas where you don't know what to do, address it. What about the second one? The one that happens over and over and over again. We know what we should be doing, but we just don't do it. Emotional trading. We have all gone through emotional trading. I blew up so many bloody accounts when I was learning. I lost so much money. But I kept doing it. Why? Because I didn't ever address it. I just got annoyed at myself. I just told myself, you know what, next time I won't do it. And that was it. And I'd get back at the computer and yeah, for a couple of days, my determination would be there. I would really focus and I would make some money. Then I would make a mistake and I would slip back into this process of knowing what to do, but not bloody doing it. How do you address this one? You find out where the mistakes are happening and when they are happening. If after having one of these mistakes, you turn it around and you look at yourself and you say, okay, this was a fear of missing out. This was frustration. This was this, or this. Once you identify it, you can start to figure out ways to correct it. So for me personally, one of the main ones was always kind of fear of missing out, but also maybe a little bit of boredom forcing me into trades. I say forcing, but it was me making the decision. I'd be sitting at the computer, I just want to get the trade out of the way. One would come along, I'd say to myself, oh, this is going to be a winner, it's not quite perfect, I'll just get into it. And I would get into it and I would lose. So I started to address that. I started to realize this was happening over and over and over again. And telling myself that I wouldn't do it again wasn't enough. So one of the things I implemented was breaking contact with the screen. I've gone over this a few times in videos. You get tunnel vision if you just stare at the charts. So I'm always looking away from the screen. And when I'm about to make a decision on getting into a trade, I look away from the screen and I run through it in my head and I say to myself, is this a good entry? It only takes a few seconds and then I can come back and if it's a good trade, I can take the trade. On top of that, when the market is coming down to an area I'm looking to trade from. When it gets there, I don't do my analysis 10 seconds before the signal candle finishes forming. I've already looked at the market structure. I've already looked at the area I'm trading from. I've already decided, okay, what's good about this, what's bad about this. And then when the signal candle is forming and it's just about ready, all I need to do is slot that signal candle into the analysis that I've already done. Because a lot of the time you see traders not doing anything, not doing anything, not doing anything, and then everything comes at once. The candle's there, they've got 10 seconds left, they're trying to work out their position size, they're trying to figure out if this is a trade, and they don't want to miss it, and they jump in, and then they jump in and it goes negative, and they think to themselves, this isn't a good trade, I shouldn't be in this trade, but then it's too late, so they try and hold it for break even, and it ends up being a loss. Happens over and over and over again. You need to address what it is that's happening when you're not doing what you know you should be doing. It might even be something like you start to feel frustrated. So when you start to feel frustrated, there can be something to the side of your screen that you read. You can stand up and have a walk around the room, whatever it is. You're just looking to get in your own way as early as possible before you start to diverge and before it starts to become too late. Because you either don't know what you should be doing, or you do know and you're not doing it. Those are the two areas to address. And it's all well and good saying to yourself, well, okay, I figured this one out, but emotional trading is really difficult. It's always going to be difficult. Yeah, we're not really built for trading. We are emotional wrecks, most of us. But the only way to combat it is to start looking at it and to start finding ways to stop yourself from doing it as early as possible. And the first way to do that is to identify what is going on and then identify when it happens. Because once you have those two areas, you can then start to work out ways to stop yourself from screwing up. Okay guys, as always, I hope that was helpful. I hope you're all going to have a good trading week with no screw ups. I'm James Orr, and thank you.